everyone, my name is Lily and welcome to my art studio. These are my quick spoiler-free reviews for the movies I watched back in August that were new to me. Today I'll be using a sketch pad of indeterminable quality and my trusty Crayola washable markers. Fun fact, the black ones are scented. I watched Happily Never After for the first time in August. I didn't expect to like this movie when I chose to watch it. Just by looking at the cover, I could tell what it was going to be like, so I watched it just for laughs. As the title implies, it's a fairy tale retelling where this evil lady upsets the balance of nature and no one gets their happy endings anymore. So Cinderella has to try to right all the wrongs, all while in the midst of a love triangle. It felt like it was really random. On the main menu, they let you choose whether you want to watch the evil version of the movie or the good version, as if it's going to give you a different viewing experience, but it doesn't. That was something that was kind of weird. It also seemed like it was a little too similar to Hoodwinked. Out of curiosity, I did some research and found that Happily Never After came out about 1 year after Hoodwinked. That's kind of suspicious. Happily Never After cost $47 million to make, and Hoodwinked only cost $8 million, which doesn't have anything to do with my review, but it's just kind of crazy thinking about that. Hoodwinked is one of my favorite movies ever, so if you want to watch a weird fairy tale retelling with scary animation and corny jokes, I would suggest that one instead. So this one was a nice surprise. The BFG was based on the book by Roald Dahl. He's the one who brought us Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach and Fantastic Mr. Fox, etc., etc. He's a personal hero of mine. I've read the book, so I can say that the movie was exactly like the book. I didn't notice a single thing that was changed. There were probably some little changes here and there, but all I saw were the scenes that were taken straight from the book and replicated right down to the last detail. I found out during the credits that Steven Spielberg directed this movie, which was a surprise. I'd never heard of him directing an animated movie. I've only ever associated him with things like E.T. and Indiana Jones. But here's the weird thing. I knew I was watching a Steven Spielberg movie even before I saw his name in the credits. He just had a certain way of directing the camera that has always stood out to me because I've always thought that it's kind of an odd style. So I can't explain what it is that gave it away, but somehow I knew, and I just thought that was kind of awesome. So, funny story. I read the novelization of this movie in January, but I didn't realize that that's what it was. It was just called The Wild Things, so I just thought it was some sort of spin-off or something. I loved that book a lot, so when I started watching this movie and realized that it was the same story, that made me really happy. There was nothing I didn't love about this movie. It was all so eerie and emotional. It's about a boy named Max who's got all these ideas and dreams and so much energy, but he doesn't feel understood or valued by his family. His mom has to work a lot and his sister is a teenager now and doesn't want to spend time with him anymore. So one night he runs away. He hops in a boat and sails off to the land where the wild things are. This movie is really impactful, which you wouldn't necessarily expect from the big furry monster on the front and a boy in a wolf suit, but trust me, you will cry. Not only is the story amazing, but I was kind of dazzled by the monsters and all the special effects that were used. Everything looked so real to me, and I don't understand how they did it. I watched the bonus features that were included on the DVD, but I didn't get any answers about how they made the movie, so I'm still on a mission to learn all their secrets. My mind is blown. I had heard about this movie, but I didn't expect it to be so cool. It's a live-action movie with animated characters somehow mixed in. The story is actually about an animated rabbit who gets framed for murder, so this human detective has to help him clear his name. It's not just the fact that they mixed in some animation into a live-action movie that makes it so amazing. WALL-E did that, lots of movies do that. This one was done in such a way that you can't believe they actually pulled it off. An animated person could punch a real person in the face and send them flying across the room, and you're just sitting there squinting with your head tilted to the side wondering how in the world they made that look so real. I can't even imagine all the planning that went into this movie. There were so many small details that to me looked like afterthoughts, but they couldn't have been because every moment had to be coordinated beforehand for everything to work together. It was really cool. I found a video where it showed side by side some original unedited footage and the final product that they put into the movie, And I still don't get how they did it. This may sound silly, but what kind of technology did they even have in the 80s? I don't think I understand properly how things used to work in the old days. I've never done the research, but in my head I picture everything being shot on film and computers not existing. So, like, how in the world would it go from being a piece of tape to a piece of tape with complex animations on it? I don't get it, but I'm gonna find out one of these days. My friend Tiana suggested that I watch this after I saw Arrival because she said it was similar. If you remember when I reviewed Arrival, you could pretty much just take those words and apply them here as well. It was so similar and just as confusing. This is an alien movie where people start spotting flying saucers near their town and have strange experiences or encounters, if you will, with these aliens. They don't appear to want anything, but they're communicating with certain people, and these people have to find out what it is that the aliens are trying to tell them. I thought that this movie had a cool tone. It's like a thriller, it's suspenseful, it's uncertain. You never really know what's going on. But there were so many inconsistencies, especially concerning characters and their actions and emotions, that after about 15 minutes I had a hard time taking the movie seriously anymore. To me, it seems like Close Encounters was focused on the aliens so much that it didn't even try to make the characters believable or the scenarios believable, because it was just all about the aliens. I thought it was a very frustrating movie. I never got the answers I wanted. I didn't see any sense in what was happening the entire time. It confuses me that it's such a classic. If you have an appreciation for this movie, I'd love to hear why, so that I can see it from a new perspective. And Steven Spielberg directed this, by the way. Do you see why I was surprised about him directing the BFG? This was a cute movie. I'd seen it before, but it was so long ago that this may as well have been my first time watching it. This is your typical Cinderella story. An evil stepmother, wicked stepsisters, and a dance. Only this dance is prom. I didn't realize how funny this was going to be. There were so many great jokes, in my opinion anyway. I was laughing the whole way through. And when there weren't jokes to be laughed at, there were heartfelt moments to smile or cry over, even if you're brave. I loved how many characters there were who actually cared about Sam, who is the Cinderella of the story, to balance out all the people in her life who were constantly discouraging her. I liked the ending and the middle and the beginning. I don't have anything else to say about this movie, yet I'm still drawing on screen, so I'm gonna make some stuff up to pass the time. Maybe I'll briefly walk you through my art process? Oh. Yeah, so we're getting to the part where I did a tie-dye shoe on accident. This was supposed to be a cool glass slipper, and it was supposed to be like all reflective and have a lot of depth and stuff, but it accidentally turned into something very blue and not very pretty or shiny or anything. So I covered it up in silver to mask all of life's problems. All better, and now we move on. I never wanted to see this movie. I thought it looked really lame, and I probably didn't understand the humor when I was first seeing it in trailers because I was younger. Our dentist lets us watch movies while we get our teeth worked on, and I remember that they had this movie as an option, which made me question their good reputation. Up until that point, they'd always had a great movie selection. There was the occasional Dora the Explorer special, but I could always overlook those because they had Harry Potter and Kung Fu Panda. Now that I'm older, I revisited this movie, and I can appreciate the humor because it's literally just an entire movie about bees making fun of themselves. Jerry Seinfeld had a hand in bringing this movie about. I'm not sure what his exact credits are, but he voices the main character, and I think he was a writer. I don't know why this movie was made, but it was hilarious and I enjoyed it. So this movie is pretty much just a bunch of nonsense, but I was surprised that there was a little bit of a story, especially towards the end. It was a surprising ending and meaningful, and I thought there were a lot of good original ideas. If you like puns, this movie is for you. If you don't, this movie is your worst nightmare. That's all. Since I have nothing else to say on this one either, I think I'm just gonna talk about the color orange. Yeah, that's a good idea. Orange. Did you know that if you layer markers on top of each other, it creates a darker shade of the original color? That's pretty amazing. I mean, ink, man. That's great. This is the main character over here. He doesn't actually look that way in the movie, but I was feeling kind of creative and kind of like I didn't want to copy exactly what I was seeing anymore. So that's what happened. And there you are, the finished product. Let me know if you liked this video by literally liking it with the like button, and if you want to see more of these in the future, leave me a comment. Have you seen any of these movies, and did we have any similar opinions? I would love to know. Thanks for staying until the end, and I hope you have an awesome day. You'll see me soon.